When a lioness died shortly after giving birth, silence fell across the sanctuary. 3 tiny cubs lay still, their eyes yet unopened. Their breaths were shallow, their chances almost gone. Without a mother, they wouldn't survive the night. Caretaker Sawyer stood by the incubator, helpless and hollow. He knew hand-raising lions was a story of failure and tears. They needed more than milk and heat. They needed a heartbeat, a mother's touch. In a quiet corner lay a black dog, strong, wise, grieving. She had just lost her puppies and hadn't eaten in days. Her eyes were dim, her body weak, but her heart still full. And in that sorrow, Sawyer saw a spark of hope. The idea was desperate, maybe even reckless. But the cubs were fading, every second mattered. He wrapped them gently in a warm blanket and walked toward the dog, praying for a miracle. For a heartbeat, time stopped. The dog sniffed the strange creatures, unsure, trembling. Then a low whine escaped her chest, and everything changed. She began licking the cubs clean, claiming them as her own. Her body curved protectively around their fragile forms. The cubs stirred, crawling toward her warmth. They found milk, rhythm, and life. And Sawyer stood frozen, watching nature rewrite its rules. That was the beginning of the sanctuary's most remarkable chapter. The black dog became a lioness in spirit and in heart. She fed, guarded, and even scolded them when they played too rough. Love had turned instinct into something divine. The cubs grew stronger each day. They stumbled, rolled, and roared in miniature. The dog watched patiently, tail wagging, eyes full of pride. Every step they took was a miracle. Staff filmed the extraordinary sight, tears in their eyes. On the grass lay a black dog with 3 spotted cubs climbing over her. They bit her ears, tugged her tail, and nestled close to sleep. And she sighed softly, whispering through her breath, "My babies." Weeks passed, and the cubs became small predators. They pounced, wrestled, practiced being wild. Sometimes their bites drew yelps from their gentle mother. And each time, she answered with a calm warning growl. The sound was almost leonine. "She's forgotten she's a dog," someone joked. But maybe she had become something more than that. She was proof that love has no species. Everything was perfect, until nature intervened. The cubs were growing too fast, too strong. Their playful swipes began to carry real weight. They were no longer tiny cubs. Everything was perfect, until nature intervened. The cubs were growing too fast, too strong. Their playful swipes began to carry real weight. They were no longer tiny cubs. The day of separation was unbearable. The dog howled and scratched at the gate, refusing to leave. The cubs roared and paced, confused and afraid. Every cry echoed through Sawyer's chest like thunder. Weeks passed. The lions learned to hunt and roam their new enclosure. The black dog sat by the fence every morning. She didn't bark. She just watched. 3 years went by. The lions became magnificent, full-grown predators. The dog grew older, slower, but her eyes never stopped searching. She still came to the fence, waiting for a miracle. One stormy night, chaos struck the sanctuary. Lightning split the sky, trees cracked and fell. An acacia tree crushed part of the lion enclosure. The outer fence was damaged beyond repair. As staff rushed to fix it, a side gate was left ajar. Sawyer was making rounds when he realized the dog was gone. Tracks led straight toward the lion habitat. His heart sank like a stone. When he arrived, the sight froze his blood. There she stood, the little black dog. And before her, towering and silent, was a massive lion. Only a feeding grate separated life from death. The air was thick, suffocating with tension. The lion's muscles rippled beneath golden fur. Its tail flicked, the sign of a coming strike. Sawyer screamed for help, knowing it was too late. But then, the lion made a sound. Not a roar. Not a growl. A soft, high-pitched chirp, a cub's call for its mother. The dog's ears shot up instantly. She answered with a deep, trembling whine. The sound of memory, of recognition, of love. The lion stepped closer, pressing his face to the grate. And then, 2 more lions appeared beside him. All 3 were chirping like cubs again. 3 kings of the wild, calling to their mother. They had forgotten the hunger of the hunt. They remembered only her warmth. Sawyer's hands shook as he gripped the latch. This could end in horror, or in grace. But something inside him whispered, "Trust it." And he opened the gate. The dog walked in slowly, tail wagging, head high. The lions circled her, silent, immense, careful. For a breathless second, no one moved. Then, one rubbed his head against her shoulder. A deep purr rolled through the air. The others followed, brushing, nuzzling, licking. The black dog sat, letting them surround her in peace. 3 lions, 1 dog, 1 unbreakable family. The staff filmed, weeping openly. It was the kind of miracle that rewrites hearts. Sawyer stood apart, tears streaming down his face. He had witnessed love defeat nature itself. From that day on, things were never the same. The dog was allowed to visit her lions twice a week. They greeted her like the sun returning after winter. Love had made its own law in the wild. Scientists called it imprinting, an instinctual memory. But Sawyer knew it was something deeper. This was the memory of love itself. The kind that no instinct could ever erase. And if anyone tells you miracles don't exist, remember this story of 3 lions and 1 black dog. A mother can be anyone, if her heart knows love. Even the wild remembers those who once gave it life.